What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dueling Aces for March 10th,
40.
also known as NFL Free Agency Day. Release the hounds, and
Sort of.
good Lord, they've released them. My God, there is. I mean, it's worse than a game of 52 pickup. I mean, you don't know where the hell the cards were going. One lands over in this room, or one lands over in that room. You have no idea where these cards are going. So what in the blue blazes is going on?
Sorry, if it looks like I'm thinking very hard, I'm currently doing math on macros for food.
Interesting.
I have to count all my macros for a week for my dietitian, so that next week when we meet, she can better assess what I've eaten, and help me come up with a better meal plan for the next 12 weeks as I continue to go through prep for the powerlifting competition at the end of May.
Yeah.
And I was lazy yesterday because of the time change and deadlifting a bunch of weight, and got home and ate and remembered everything I ate, just didn't count my macros. So now I have to do 2 days worth of work sitting here instead of one.
Oops.
But I've been paying attention to the message, the chat going off all day with all of the free agency news.
My apologies.
And I couldn't tell you how much I could care less.
Yeah, we know.
I do think it's interesting, all of the individuals possibly going to Pittsburgh, which makes me wonder what is going on there. Because traditionally, Pittsburgh doesn't make big free agency or big trade splashes, right?
Right.
They may go get a piece that they need, but they don't make big moves. So I don't know if Tomlin's gearing up for one last run, or if somebody got in one of the Rooney's ears and they're changing direction, because this is very un-Pittsburgh like to be flashy.
Well, Pittsburgh's
I
been
think-
without a good wide receiver for a long
I
time.
think they finally hit that point where they realize they need skill position. They don't have a choice now.
And they're sick and tired of trying to do it through the draft because it's been one headache after another.
And they have space.
Well, I get that, but they see they were trying to get Justin Fields.
No, that was reverted.
Okay.
That was reverted. Yeah. They weren't impressed with Justin Fields.
But you got DK Metcalf. The idea that they are, I understand they need that number one receiver, but the idea that they would go out and make a splashy trade for it is what throws me off.
Fair enough.
That's just not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't do that. They wait.
No,
They
you're
get
right.
their guy. They outsmart everybody. That's the thing. They outsmart everyone in that aspect when it comes to free agency or trades or even the draft.
We briefly touched on it a little bit, I think, on the Sam show. The free agent wide receiver class is sparse. I mean, everybody that's out there, there's issues.
Yeah.
I think right now, I think consensus best wide receiver available still is Keenan Allen, who is good for 8 games,
Right.
maybe 10.
Maybe. You're right.
I mean, there's some out there. It's just like I said, everybody's got an issue, whether it's him, whether it's Diggs, or um, where's some of the others we threw out there. Um, as I scroll, Diggs, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper. Honestly, it's some of the same names you've been seeing for a little while now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
Darius
think
Slayton, but he signed with
right.
Giants. Lockett, but Lockett is what, 35, 36?
Yeah, and I said he'd probably go to somebody that needs some help, like the Chargers.
I mean, if you need talent, the only way you were getting it is by trade. That's it.
Yeah,
So Metcalf was available. Now, I'm sure we're going to touch on this, but the rumor all day has been Rodgers going to Pittsburgh, even though it is yet to materialize.
right.
Can you just imagine Rodgers goes off on Metcalf and Metcalf just lifts him up and breaks him in half?
That'll be very interesting.
Or he goes off on who's the other guy? Who's the kid? I want to say Pickett, but Pickett's
Pickens?
in my head. Pickens, yes, sorry.
Yeah,
He goes off on
Pickens.
Pickens and Pickens just
Yeah,
punches him.
Pickens, Pickett. Yeah, it's all a P. Yeah.
Here is my question. Is Aaron Rodgers going to humble himself enough to listen to Mike Tomlin and the Rooneys in the Pittsburgh system if he goes to Pittsburgh?
That's a great damn question.
I mean, I have my answer.
The answer is no. At least that's my opinion.
There you go.
But you're going to go somewhere with an individual who has, like, yeah, I'm a Browns fan. I don't necessarily care for the Steelers. However, I 100% respect the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and what they have done over the last almost 100 years as a football team. So to say that, hey, we're going to take one of the, a surefire Hall of Fame QB who's had issues the past, 4 or 5 years of his career, and we're going to sign him. I mean, it's not like Aaron Rodgers doesn't come with the
Baggage.
well, not only baggage, but with that label of being a prima donna. And Mike Tomlin very, very publicly does not deal with prima donnas. We saw what happened to the last 2 or 3 that have been on that team.
Right.
They're not
Antonio
there very
Brown.
long.
Yeah. He doesn't put up with any of it.
No. So if you're Aaron Rodgers and you want a chance at winning a Super Bowl ring and you're going to do it with the Steelers, can you keep your mouth shut and humble yourself enough to do it?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. Well, was Tom Brady and Bruce Arians? I mean, Tom wasn't, Mr. Bossy, I think, with Arians. So I mean, that is a great question.
Here's the thing.
That really is. I mean, because you're so used to being the guy, and I do my stuff my way. Brady didn't do it. Peyton Manning didn't do it. I mean, yeah, that's going to be a good question because I think that was, it should have been a good setup, but I think because Saleh was still new to being a head coach, really didn't know how to handle, Rodgers and being the whole prima donna thing, like you said. So it's like it's more of an annoying ordeal. And it's like versus, hey, Tomlin's been around and Tomlin's not going to be afraid to turn around and look right at him and go, get out of my face and sit your butt down.
I think Rodgers was forced on Saleh.
What's that?
I think Rodgers was forced on Saleh. I don't think that was
Oh,
a
I do too.
marriage that he was looking for.
I do
And so he
too.
tried to make the best of it, tried to make peace, tried to give Rodgers what he wanted, and you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Um, I will say this, I am not 100% convinced that Pittsburgh is all that interested in Rodgers. I understand what we've been seeing, but okay, I first saw the "getting close" quote
Yeah.
before 1:00 this afternoon.
Yeah. So did I.
So that's eight
And
and a
then
half
it
hours.
resurfaced around, what was it, 5:30, 6 o'clock by
Exact same quote.
somebody
Right.
else. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think I think the Steelers touched base with his camp, see what he was looking for just to get numbers. And I think Rodgers' camp started floating the getting close to hopefully get an offer from somebody,
Yeah. But who?
anybody,
The Vikings.
the Giants.
Okay. The Giants, I could see. The Vikings, I don't know. What's the status with JJ? I mean,
As to my knowledge, he will be
everything
ready
sounded
for camp.
right. I was going to say, I
I
thought
don't
everything sounded good there. And they've already got Daniel Jones that they can just sit there and go, we could tag you or we could sign you another 1 year deal or whatever and back up the kid. But because I don't think they're going to get any solid veteran leadership. I mean, and right now, the whole Russell Wilson thing is still up in the air.
yeah.
And I
And
mean, Pittsburgh has not said no to Wilson. And by looking at Wilson's Facebook stuff, it doesn't look like he hasn't been given the brush off there either yet. So,
well, let's as far as Minnesota goes, let's remember JJ McCarthy's injury. It wasn't an ACL. It wasn't an Achilles. It wasn't anything.
no,
It was a torn meniscus. It's just one of those things that when you go in, if you have to have the surgery and a full repair, okay, just means you're done for the season because you won't be able to recoup that long. He will be fine come training camp.
I think so. Shoot mini camp, I think.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. They had Daniel Jones as the backup. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not. You obviously need a backup. Rodgers ain't going to go there to be a backup.
No. So it's like the only teams that really aren't thrilled with their quarterbacks at the moment. It looks like New Orleans is satisfied with Carr.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They're gonna. I mean, they just literally just gave him all of his money in one
right.
lump sum. So yeah, he's
So
staying there.
he's staying there. Indy's not real thrilled with Richardson per se at the moment. So they keep
There's a
going through.
Christopher Sudbury in the chat who's asking if we're going to let him in. I'm sorry, I don't know anybody by that name.
My screen's on full screen because I've been full screen the whole time. I was gonna say, isn't he at bowling anyway? He's bowling. I was gonna say he bowls on Monday nights. I don't know. I was gonna say that's the last. I know why he wants to zip in. He wants to zip on about his stuff to harass about the Browns crap, and so the Browns guy isn't anywhere near. It hasn't been on for a little while, for almost 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, he's not here.
He's not here, so he can't harass about him. I was gonna say he'll get enough harassment over the weekend.
I
I'm
mean,
sure
that ain't
at
gonna
the
stop me.
Power Piston show. What?
That ain't gonna stop me.
From we'll get to that disaster. I mean, you just turn around and you just sucked Garrett in with a whole bunch of money, and then you go pulling that off.
This guy.
Oh, oh my
All I
God!
saw was the Garrett extension.
Yeah, they traded for Kenny Pickett, who
Yes,
used to
they
play
they
for Pittsburgh,
yes.
then went to the Eagles and was the backup quarterback last year, won a Super Bowl ring, and now the Browns and Eagles traded basically backup quarterbacks, and the Browns gave a 5th or 6th round pick just to make sure that they could take Pickett. So the Browns and Eagles basically traded backup quarterbacks.
Quarterback of the future.
Oh my God. See, you can't say with a straight face either. Neither could Tyler. Tyler couldn't say with
I
a
was
straight face either. It's like we're gonna have to learn to say that with a straight face.
I was so excited when that trade came down because I knew I had my entire next year planned out.
I,
I'm good
Sam
for the next year.
Sam sent it over so fast. He goes, "Send this to Adam now." I was like, "Oh dear God!" And I did. I hit the forward on it. And when Adam came across and he's going, "Yep, he got his bruiser, factory of sadness." When he turned around and he just comes right out and he goes, "I hate being a Browns fan." Oh my
The
God.
only thing I haven't looked at yet
Oh.
is how much you pay in this fool.
Sam said that it alleviates $3.2 million off of Philly's cap space.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say his cap hit is like 2.6. So
yeah.
okay.
They said with them taking on DTR, basically DTR was on a rookie contract, so you ain't having to pay squat for that. And they get a 5th rounder out of it. That Cleveland initiated that trade.
Right. How about this? You are paying him 400,000 more than you're paying, or sorry, towards your cap. Your cap is affected
Right.
$400,000 more than Jameis Winston, who's not even with you.
Right. Well, was it you who mentioned about Winston going to San Fran?
No. In fact,
Who posted
I
that?
I
Because
don't
I
know.
wasn't opposed to it. I was like,
No,
shoot,
no,
bring him.
and I've seen that rumor. I'm more along the lines of
It's better than
I
Blaine
leg-
Gabbert.
I think he's a legit possibility for either the Giants or Pittsburgh if something doesn't happen that they're looking for. Like you could run him as a starter for a period of time. He's shown that he can do that. It's not like God, it's not like throwing Zach Wilson out there or,
Right. Yeah, no. But no, when I saw that, I said, well, I'm not mad about it. I mean, shoot.
no,
I mean, anything's better than Blaine
he's a hell
Gabbert.
of a backup. I mean,
Yeah. I wasn't mad at it at all.
no, I think he's a name that is out there that honestly, when you're looking at the teams that are left, does anybody want to sign Rodgers? That's the question. Do the Giants want to sign him? I have to believe if they wanted to sign him, as dumb as that franchise is, he'd be there.
Yeah, they would have. But that GM, because he already screwed up with the Barkley thing, he screws up one more time, he's out the door.
Well, I would say he's already screwed up because their options now
Are
are
already gone.
Rodgers, Wilson, Winston. What else you got? Daniel Jones. I think they've been that route.
Yeah. Well, what was it on your list here? Because I got the SP up as far as the free agents too. So we know that Sam went to Seattle. Justin's in as a Jet, which that's kind of ironic. Is you basically put Justin Fields and Mr. Wilson back together again, and I'm going, hey, that's not a bad idea. I'm not mad at that either. Um, Dobbs went to New England. Zach Wilson going to Miami. That was
Hang on a sec.
off the train.
Hang on. Time out.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Jets. I see
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Brandon Stevens as the signed.
Okay.
Who are we pairing him with?
Garrett Wilson, wide receiver.
Oh, Garrett Wilson. Sorry, we were talking Russell Wilson, and my brain just.
Oh yeah, no. My fault. My fault. Yeah.
Understood.
No, it's his wide receiver cohort, the Buckeye connection. Putting another quarterback receiver combo from college back in on the pro level. As I said, not a bad, not mad at it. You just got to find another wide receiver.
Yeah, 2 years, $40 million.
Again,
They can probably walk away after one.
Again, another Tyler Lockett spot. Cooper Kupp is now going to probably be released since the Rams were stupid and said, "Oh, we're just going to release him if we can't find a trade."
It didn't matter. I mean, they already said they were going to trade him weeks ago.
Yeah.
As soon as you say you're going to trade somebody, you're done.
Yeah. It's like, we'll just wait for you to release them and that'll be it. So you're out there and you're looking at Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Heineke, Mariota, Drew Lock, Flacco, Winston, Mac Jones, Wentz, Keenum, Rudolph, Stick, Cooper Rush, and the list gets worse going down.
I was gonna say there's a whole lot of names on there that that you kind of go, wow, they're still in the league,
right? Josh Johnson, Kyle Allen, Russell Wilson's third from the bottom. It's kind of funny. Aaron Rodgers is not on that list. That's kind of weird. I mean, the Jets did officially release him, right?
Yes.
So why wouldn't he be on this list? That's weird.
I've got him on my list. I'm on The Athletic. He's one of their quote unquote tier 3 available players. Right above Justin Fields, according to them.
Okay. Hey. We can't be having Mama ranting. No. Sorry, Mama was ranting in the background. We didn't want.
It's fine.
No, it's gonna be it's a mess. It's like you need to hurry it up and figure out what you're gonna do. I mean, there isn't much out there. I mean, what's New York gonna do? You know what they'll do is they'll try to make the move to get the QB in the draft.
That's which takes us back to Cleveland is convinced that somebody's going to jump them into the one spot.
Yeah, but doesn't Tennessee right now said they want 4 number ones for that?
It's March 10th. They can ask for whatever the hell they want. It's going down to the wire anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What spot is Cleveland drafting in?
2.
Stay right there at 2.
Yeah, you don't move.
Yeah.
If you're Cleveland, you don't move.
You don't need to
Moving
move.
up one spot has always been the dumbest thing in the world to me.
Yep.
Because you're either scared they're going to take your guy, in which case, if you're taking that spot, obviously they weren't going to take your guy because they don't care.
Yeah, if they trade up with you, they weren't going to draft him to begin with.
It's like, I'm sorry, you won a football game. You slid back to 3. Too bad.
So my question then is, when you guys take Travis Hunter, is he playing wide receiver or corner?
No, I think they're still taking a quarterback.
You would be dumb to take a quarterback.
Well, we discussed this, but it is the Browns. As I
It is
said,
the
There's
best.
no.
they're going to take a quarterback. The
Who are you
only
drafting
quarterback
at number
on.
two?
Go ahead.
Who are you drafting at number two that is go? If you have between the first and fifth pick in the NFL draft, that pick had better become not only an All Pro, but I would say if it's in the first three picks, it better be somebody that you think is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I mean, honestly, you guys, again, I'm making the assumption Cam Ward goes 1. Whether it's to Tennessee or to somebody else who moves into that spot.
Which
Y'all
puts
could take
Sanders.
y'all could take Carter.
Right at
Take
two.
Carter, who you now have on a rookie deal for 5 years while you're paying Myles Garrett, and look at those bookends.
True.
I mean, kid is supposed to be phenomenal.
I would rather beef up the defense and wait a year until.
And I need to wait for Carter to come off an injury too.
Oh,
He had the
that's
surgery.
fine. Are you winning this year?
No.
I mean, look who your quarterback is. Are you winning this year?
This
No.
is true. Nope, they're not. But like I said, that's why I think they would just take the quarterback.
I would rather than wait a year or two and draft Arch.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
And
I
this
do
guy
not
can get you
disagree
there.
with that.
This guy can get you there.
Whatever, Dave.
I'm just honestly everything. Nothing against Shedeur Sanders. Here's the problem, though. Everything I've seen now has him like 25th ranked guy coming out of college now.
Sure.
Granted, he's a quarterback. He's going to get taken way too early, but he's supposed to be the pro-ready guy.
Right, because Dad made him that way.
Yes. So you're going to waste his pro-ready first year because you guys aren't ready. I honestly, let dude destroy your damn team this year. Who gives a damn? Because you want that pick next year.
Well, because already you're losing Chubb. You're not gonna your running game is gonna be Ford and whoever else will be back there. That you pick up from scraps. Shoot, maybe you bump up Hines off the special teams and throw Hines as a backup.
Hey, there's always the second round or maybe even third round. You could take Donovan Edwards. That's a hell of a running back there.
Well, this class
I
is
don't hear about running backs in Cleveland anymore.
Right?
Because
go on. I have an anecdote, but go ahead.
I don't want to hear about running backs in Cleveland anymore because Stefanski has proven he doesn't know how to use them and use them correctly.
There's that. And honestly, why would you waste a year of Shedeur Sanders under Stefanski? Just let the dude burn out and get rid of him and bring in a decent coach to coach whoever the next guy is.
But I don't think that Stefanski is that bad of a coach.
You could do better.
I 100% agree that we could do better. However, it's not like head coaches that have a pedigree are lining up to take the Cleveland job.
They will once your cap space starts to become available again.
Sure, but do you stick with Stefanski until then and then fire Barry and everybody else along with it for that right now the Cleveland Browns are the girl from the trailer park on the other side of the tracks who's rumored to have relations with her brother. She's not awful looking, but it's gross either way.
Oh, the analogies. Oh.
But on the flip side of the coin, $160 million, you could just ignore that.
Yeah,
when
but
it happens, sure, I'm with you.
the big problem is no matter what, you're in 5 years of hell because
Well,
you
they're in
have to
3 years
sit,
of
you
hell for
have to
sure.
wait, you have to wait to eliminate said GM and coach, bring in the new GM coach, give them the 2 years to get themselves formulated and get the chemistry together and get the players
Well,
that you, the pieces you need, and then you move, and then after your second year, you're pretty much about
they
ready to
restructured that contract again
again. Yep.
and kicked the can down the road
Yeah,
further.
this is going to be a Bobby Bonilla thing forever. And I mean, shoot, the Patriots, I
Man,
think,
I'm
just finished
pulling the
paying Tom Brady off, what, 2 years ago? They were still paying Tom Brady.
Here's the thing, though. You kind of had to do that to afford to pay Miles Garrett.
Right, exactly.
Listen, I'm all for affording to pay Myles Garrett. I'm with you. However, I don't know that Myles Garrett plays in the NFL much longer.
He'll play the 4 more years. He'll
If
be
he doesn't
healthy
get,
enough to stay for 4 more. He'll be healthy enough to make the 4 more years.
if he doesn't get seriously injured.
So I just said, if he stays healthy, he'll make the 4 more years.
I was gonna
So
say you're at the age 30 mark. I mean, it's a gamble, but you're gambling any big time football contract.
Right.
you've got the problem with the whole thing is not only did the move fail and it did not yield the results that you expected it to yield. You sacrificed at least 12 years of this team's future with the draft picks that you lost. Because on average, an NFL career is 4 years. And you look at the couple of first rounders, you could have built pieces on this team or drafted pieces on this team that would have been a net positive versus what you got with old massage hands there.
Oh,
And here's
got
the thing,
Bailey
literally,
Zappi too.
literally.
That's who else we got. We got Bailey Zappi too.
Okay,
Yeah, I know.
somebody's got to run the scout team.
Touche.
Okay, yeah, you not only, Bruce, I'm 100% agreeing with you. You literally threw away how many years of the franchise
12 to
in the deal
15.
in the deal that got him, and then you literally got nothing in return. Nothing.
You got less than nothing.
Yeah,
And
because
Houston
now
and Houston got a whole new offense.
Houston got a team that could win a Super Bowl. That's what they got. They got it with the trade with the Browns. They got a team that eventually could win them a Super Bowl.
So Carter saying Carter will be #1 pick. Hines was released. I did not see that one, but Justin's usually really on top of all that with the Brown stuff. Dave, no, oh geez, here
Wait a
we
minute,
go.
go back to that.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't know Trump played football.
No, oh wow. Oh, yeah, we know who to blame on the deal. We totally know who to blame on the deal.
I wonder if he could dodge linebackers like he dodged the draft.
Oh man.
Sorry. I know we don't get political on the show. Shut up,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes. So no,
I got a legitimate chortle out of Zolt though, and I'm happy about that.
yeah, sorry about it. It's like,
did.
and since I'm on full screen with my thing, it's like, oh damn, missed a slew of comments. Sorry about that, Anthony and guys. But I got to go full on my monitor.
Listen,
Yeah. So
all the free agency stuff's great, but there's something way cooler that we could be talking about right now.
No,
You
there
guys,
isn't.
he's 9 goals away.
oh,
Yes. Yes. 9. I mean,
it's a good
he's
intermission.
gonna
It's a
do
good
it. You know
intermission.
he's gonna do it.
I'm okay with this.
He's 9 goals. Here's the thing, though. Does he do it with it? Does he get those 9 goals in the regular season?
Yeah.
Regular
Yep.
season's almost over.
Oh,
Pretty
he got
close.
plenty of time. I think he's got plenty of time.
Hold on.
Hang on. Let
I'm looking at the schedule.
yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, that's
I'm
exactly
doing
what
some math here.
we all just turned around and jumped into.
Okay,
We want to see the schedule.
They've played 64 games, so they've got 18 to go. 82.
We've got
I'm pretty
18 to go.
NHL's 82. Yeah.
Is he playing tonight? No.
They play tomorrow against the Ducks. Last night he got
Okay,
885.
Right.
Okay.
So he'd have to score every other game.
Which I think he could. I mean, he came into this year, he was what?
Could. He's averaging more than that right now. So
here's the other question. Because we all thought that Gretzky's goal record was unbreakable, right?
okay.
At the time, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
at the time, yes, it
2025. It's 2025, and Gretzky retired in the 90s.
Right.
And then nobody
So
was
the
really
goal
looking
record
to
stood
play
for
him
almost
long.
30 years.
Yeah.
So my question is, I know Ovechkin doesn't have the cup that Gretzky has. But if you beat Gretzky's goal record, does that put you on the same tier list as Gretzky? Because we always hold Gretzky above everybody else. And if you're Ovechkin and you beat Gretzky's goal record, does that put you with him?
I still say no. And purely because of the assists. I mean,
Okay.
it's so difficult just because of how different the game is played now.
Well, we make that argument between multiple sports, though. We make that's always our argument. It's always our argument between multiple sports on every level.
So I would say, just to give it, just to rebut that a little bit, to George, yes, that is true. We do argue that it is different all the time. However, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they paid guys to go out and be goons and get into fights. I would also, it is harder now with the speed and the skill of the players in the NHL now. I don't think Gretzky would put the numbers up that he put up in that time frame. I think it's harder now to score those offensive numbers.
Again, it's completely different now. I will say,
I don't know.
I literally just pulled up NHL single season records. for assists. Most assists in any particular season, Gretzky has the first 7 on the list. Solo. He has 8 tied with Mario Lemieux. And then he has 10 where he got 109 assists.
Okay.
The top 10 seasons with the most assists, he has 9.
Well, he had 10. He just shared one.
Yes.
I want to flip that back a little bit. I'll rewind this back a little bit, because you were saying the way that the speed of the game is now, it's a fast paced game versus being a beat 'em up, smack 'em up. If Gretzky's on a fast paced game, wouldn't you think that it would be the opposite, that Gretzky would have more
Uh,
and not
let me
less?
let me change that up a little bit from fast-paced game, which I'm not arguing that, but let me, instead of saying that, let me just say today's NHL is so much more system-based.
That's fair.
And that's not a negative. I'm just, when you get with a team, you start learning their system. And that's how it is. Gretzky, and not to say nobody else did, but Gretzky created the offense for that team completely.
He generated it.
Yes. And it's not just, okay, this is the offense we're going to run. He went out there and made plays happen. Whether he was parked in his office behind the net or anywhere else. Just the way he could literally just find people without even looking. Just boom, you're open, goal.
So this is the rebuttal I will use to say that Ovechkin belongs in the same sentence as Gretzky because of the goal numbers. You talk about assists, and that's a completely and utterly valid stat. 100%. I would love to know, because I would imagine that almost 6 or 7 of those years, there's a little EDM next to that when he was on Edmonton. Look at the titans of hockey that he played with on those teams.
Sure.
So the offense generated on those teams is going to be astronomical. The other thing I would say is look at what Ovechkin had in Washington. He didn't have a whole lot until the last 7-8 years. So
It'd be funny. He turns around and does it against Columbus. He's got 4 games to go, and he gets it all. He racks up a ton of it during Columbus and gets it.
it's
So
only
he's only 9.
fitting. It's only fitting if it happens in the last game of the season against the Penguins.
I would think he'd want to do it at home, and he's got Columbus at home.
Well,
He's got Carolina at home and then Columbus at home.
Well, They play Carolina at home, then they go to Columbus, and then they're home against Columbus.
Yeah, I know. I said the last 2 home games were Carolina and Columbus. He'd probably want to do it at home. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it on the road.
It's kind of sad that their West Coast trips are done. I'd love to see him do it against Edmonton.
Right.
Just the historical premise of the whole thing to have him do it against Edmonton or LA.
Yeah. So he's got 9 left, and he's got plenty of games to do it in.
Here's the other thing I love about this, right? He scores that goal. It's not like a home run ball. It's not like Barry Bonds 756 or McGuire 62. He's not going to have to come up with an astronomical sum to get it from the guy who caught the puck. It's right there.
Yeah. That's very true.
That's the one thing I've always hated about historic numbers in baseball when it happens and the ball goes into the crowd and the guy's like, I want $1 million for this ball. Shut up. That ball wasn't worth anything 30 minutes ago. It's still just a piece of leather and rubber. I was kind of thinking about it today, and I was listening to NHL radio on Sirius, and they were talking about it and the celebration that will happen when it does happen. Because quite likely,
so. Yeah,
I'm in my mid-40s. George is near death in his 80s.
Oh, wow.
Zolt, I know you're in your late 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll ever see this.
I never thought
Go
we'd
ahead,
see
say
with,
it.
So
say it.
I don't know that we'll ever see it again in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought we'd see it in the first place, let alone again. So
yeah.
No, this is true. I mean, I know George is in his mid-50s, so
Not even close yet. 51, dude. Where are you putting me over the hill? It's like putting me like the Undertaker. You're in the grave already.
Hey,
boy.
isn't it pudding time for you?
Oh, I could so bounce him.
You could.
I will say, and obviously it's way too early to be having this kind of discussion, but
Yes.
Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews.
Connor McDavid's an interesting one.
It is.
Because Connor McDavid does wear an orange and blue jersey. Plays in that little town called Edmonton.
Yeah.
He's 10 years in the league already. Jesus.
He's 10 years in?
Wow.
Yeah, this is year 10. Granted, his first year he only played 45 games, but yeah, he's technically in year 10.
If he's 10 years,
359 career goals.
If he's 10 years into the league, Sidney Crosby's got to be goddamn Methuselah. Don't get me wrong. I love Sid the Kid and I love Evgeny Malkin, but Jesus. They need walkers when they get out onto the ice.
So, hang on. What's the number Ovechkin's chasing?
895.
895.
McDavid would need one serious run.
He would have to play 25. He'd have to have a 25-year career.
So he'd have to play another 15 years.
Without slacking off. Yeah. Of course, Ovechkin's not suddenly stopping either.
Do you retire though? Like, you break that record, do you retire?
I think Ovechkin retires when it's not fun anymore. He's one of
Yeah.
those guys that you can tell has fun when he's playing.
It's kind of like the Cal Ripken thing, the continuous game streak. And nobody knew when that was going to stop. And he was just like, I just don't feel like it today. Next thing you know, everybody's like, oh, damn.
I remember watching that game too. That was amazing.
To be fair, though, I just pulled up Austin Matthews for Toronto.
Hey,
who
Connor
is
McDavid
in-
played there too.
He's in his 9th year, and he's almost a 400. He's at 391.
He's at 391.
Yeah.
So
He's had multiple 60-goal seasons. That's why.
I don't know. I think we'd see somebody like Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid get close, but I don't think we see somebody break it. Because I think it's
That's
going to be
one of those
well
things-
when it's all said and done. I think it's going to be well over 900.
I mean, let's be realistic. It's not just skill; it's longevity, and it's
Yeah.
being able to hold back father time. And
It's like if he
luck.
plays
It's
2 more
luck
years,
getting hurt.
he'll see. If he plays 2 more years, he could make it 4 digits.
Yeah, could.
Yep.
If he played 2 more years, he could make it 4 digits, and then good luck, somebody.
So postseason goals count in this too, so which is fine.
Yeah.
So let's say that I don't have a playoff bracket in front of me. I think Washington is close.
Hang on. I'll look at it.
To making the playoffs, yes, they're tops in their.
So they're in.
They're at 92 points. Yes.
I don't know where
if they
Pittsburgh is.
clinched, but they're in.
I don't know where Pittsburgh is.
Help with that if you turn on precise location.
Shut up.
Pittsburgh is bottom of the Metro Division at 60 points.
Yeah, they haven't. They're looking for wine in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I did see the behind the scenes footage from the other night when Pittsburgh and Minnesota played their last game of the season, and it was the last time that Flower was going to play against Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And the Pittsburgh players waited out on the ice for him after the game. Crosby and Ovechkin.
Sorry.
What's that?
And beat the crap out of it.
No, look, Flower was always my favorite. I don't him. If there is not a jacket and a first ballot entry into the Hall of Fame for guys like Ovechkin and Flower, what are you doing?
Yeah, I literally just looked up career goals. Currently, obviously, Ovechkin is sitting at 2. I'm sorry, number 2, not 2 goals. And with active players, closest active player is Crosby. Okay. Behind him is Stamkos at 23. Geno Malkin at 44th. Patrick Kane at 52. John Tavares at 56. Corey Perry, Kopitar, Marchand, Kessel. Into the 100s now. Jamie Benn, Leon Draisaitl. But again, he's been in the league 11 years now. He's sitting at 117 with 393 goals. And then it's Austin Matthews with 391. I mean,
Where was
that's
Kessel
going to
at?
be Kessel. He's currently sitting at 413 career goals, but he's also technically been out of the league for 2 years. He hasn't played since 2023.
Okay.
So he's 98th. I don't know. It would be absolutely insane to see that happen twice in our lifetime.
Yeah, it would be. Well, technically, even 3 times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because Gretzky the first time.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Clint. Columbus is currently 4th in the Metro Division at 70 points. I'm doing.
Yeah, they're
1,
first
2,
for the
3,
wild
4,
card.
5, 6.
They're first
7.
for the wild card right now. They're staving off. Ottawa Senators are sitting at second with the playoff, and the Rangers and the Red Wings and Canadians and Bruins all at 66 behind them. So it's a tight wild card race. That is no joke.
I have barely paid attention to hockey this year, and I am about to fill out a bracket next week for March Madness, and I haven't watched a single game all year. I'm going to pick me a mid-major, and that's going to be my dark horse to go all the way to the Final Four.
And Clint just brought it up. The fact Columbus is first for the wild card at 70 points after losing their best player by far.
Says
I mean,
a
this
lot.
team has just, yes, they've taken that on their shoulders and they're going nuts.
When,
We'll see how far
because
that
they
can
were
actually
brothers
take.
that passed away.
Yes.
Yeah.
One played, I forget who the other, one played for Columbus, and I forget who the other one played. I think it was Calgary. It was a Canadian team.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Gaudreau.
Yeah, Calgary and Columbus. The Flames and Blue Jackets.
because Calgary and Columbus played each other early in the year, and they played in Calgary, if I remember correctly. And when they did the opening face-off, they left the face-off circle open and didn't have, and they dropped the puck in the face-off circle without anybody there in honor of the brothers.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
can't root against them.
I saw the number last night and I got excited because it's cool to see history. I remember listening
It
to
is.
every
It
Barry.
is definitely.
I remember listening to every Barry Bonds at bat chasing 756. I didn't care about the steroids thing. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to see it. Yeah, I hated the Patriots, but man, it'd have been really cool to see them go 18-0. There's something awe-inspiring about excellence at that level.
And what we're talking about, seeing something that's never been done.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of, honestly, it was like watching Shohei Ohtani 2 years ago.
Oh, I'll
I
put
mean,
Bryce
we've
and I
never
were
seen that
watching
before.
Luca put up the 77 to come back. Bryce and I sat there and just watched it, and we're like, this is not really happening. And Bryce is just like, are you seeing? I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm right here with you. It was like, it was insane. So
Watching
yeah,
Ichiro hit 3,000 in Japan and then come over to the United States and do it.
yeah.
Yeah. It, and the thing is, stuff like that, what you just said, is completely taken for granted here because we didn't see it. We saw the second half.
Right.
Yep.
We saw the encore.
The fact that that man was already a baseball Hall of Famer before he came to the major leagues and was a rookie with 3,000 hits in Japan.
Yep.
And then he came over here and was like, oh, let me do it again. Listen, I'm sorry. Baseball's all-time hit king is not Pete Rose. It's Ichiro Suzuki.
I won't debate it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Or, so some of the stuff, you hear the stories or the radio reports of stuff that happened in the 30s and 40s, like Babe Ruth's called shot, right?
Yep.
And all there is like there's journalistic retelling. But then I think it was 10 years ago, somebody found archival footage of it. There was a camera rolling and it's on film. Now, does he call his shot? That's debatable. But he does point at the outfield, and the very next pitch is a home run. So nobody knows if he's actually pointing at the pitcher, talking trash to the pitcher, or he was calling his shot. But the fact that there's footage of it, amazing.
Oh, I was a guest on the PVD podcast last week, and John wanted to turn around and talk about sports, and he said he wanted, top 3 sports moments that I had seen, meaning I thought he had mentioned seen like in person. And I pretty much about knew the 3 right off the rip. And the first one was Roger Clemens' last game against the Tigers. And it was a sick 17-inning game. And Paul Cuthbertson and I are standing because we bought standing room only tickets. And we stood all 17 innings to watch the Yankees and Tigers go back and forth for 17 innings. The Yanks win at 10-9. But I mean, Clemens is sitting there, pitched 7 innings, and I think it was Starks who pitched like 6 2/3 or something. And they were going back and forth. And it was just a real true great baseball game. I mean, granted, our knees and our ankles were really hurting about inning 13 from standing so long, but it was just like something like that is just super cool. No phones, no pictures, just watching it, just taking that kind of thing in without having my phone out to record it. Like nowadays, everybody and their brothers got a camera and they're filming it. It was like just to sit there, watch it, and take it in. Super damn cool.
The Rajai Davis home run against the Cubs in the 2015 World Series in Game 7. The way that stadium just came apart when that happened was amazing. The 3-week span of the Monsters winning the Calder Cup, the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup, and then the Cavs winning the NBA title.
See, I was at the Calder Cup game. I was there.
I was watching it.
Oh, no, I was there. Myself, Bryce, Kelly, and our friend from church, we were there. And I remember Bryce just being a little dude still. He's like, Dad, when's this going to be over? And I said to him, it's real easy. I said, either this place is going to erupt so loud, you're not going to be able to hear me talking right next to you, and everybody's just going to be going bananas, or everybody's going to be really bummed out because they got to come back tomorrow to see Game 7. And when that dude scored with just about that second left, I was just like,
0.8
oh
seconds.
my God. It was the most phenomenal thing ever that I had been to. That was like I said, that will be my number one forever because that arena went bonkers. It was just like Cleveland. It could have been like the Browns winning the Super Bowl, the Indians winning the World Series. It
Here's
was the same exact excitement, and the place just blew up. It
here's
was
the thing that
awesome.
gets lost in all of that too. The week before the Monsters won the Calder Cup, Miocic won the UFC heavyweight title and then held it for 4 years.
Right, right.
So
And he was, and that's what I thought that the Calder Cup thing was getting swept under the rug because a week later the Cavs won the series. And then, but the nice thing was is that the Cavs were just like, hey, look, they brought the monsters into the parade. They brought Stipe into the parade.
to the parade.
Like, and it was just like, hey, you guys just did this within the past couple of weeks too. We're all champs. And I was like, that was super damn cool. I thought it
I,
was
w-
cool.
I will say the one of the ones that I would put on the list is 5 championship in 5 years for Jimmy Johnson because I don't think we'll ever see it again. They change the rules every year for the how they calculated the championship, and Jimmy
Oh,
Johnson
yeah.
5 years straight won. But the one that I think to me is scratched in my mind forever is the aerial shot of 71 by East 9th at the exit the day of the parade where there's people just hanging out everywhere and cars are stopped on the freeway because 2.4 million people came downtown to that parade. They estimated like 160,000 and 2.4 million people came. And just that picture of downtown Cleveland teeming with people. Well, that's burned in my brain for forever.
Oh yeah, and I still remember seeing the people hanging out of the parking garages, split hanging on splits. It's like, don't fall. You going, you gone. I mean, it was crazy. But my third one was seeing a very young LeBron James uh take it to the Pistons in a double overtime win, and I got to be there in person. My friend Lance had gotten a couple tickets, and he goes, "Hey, you want to go to the ball game tonight?" And I was like, "The Tigers are playing in Cleveland." He goes, "No, no, no, not that ball game, the other ball game." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went to the Palace, dressed head to toe in my Cavs gear, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot you were a Cleveland dude." He goes, "Son of a." I was like, "It's okay. I'm all good." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, we'll see if they let you in the building." I said, "Remember, I'm working there now. Of course they're going to let me in the building." I even turned around and I told them where the employee parking setup was because I had a parking pass for whatever events. Said, "Here, we're parking right over here, right by the building." Couldn't go into the microwave. That's where the players park. But it was like, yeah, I turned around and was walking around. He goes, "Oh, I guess you are all right." I'm like, "Yeah." I says, "I know. I'm almost the whole security staff." I said, "I hope so." Although they'd be looking at me going, "Yeah, you're on your own." But it was pretty cool though, because a lot of the fans just said, that dude's going to be something special. He goes, "Cannot believe that kid just went off in double overtime and just took the game on his shoulders and just
The,
dominated."
the game 5 performance against the goal against Golden State to force game 6 and then subsequently game 7.
I did not watch them because I had watched the first 3 games and I was like, I must be the superstition, and I still have yet to see games 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Game 5. That was, I'm sure you've seen the clip of him. There's a clip of
Nope.
him, George. He came 3/4 of the court and blocked the shot from behind and pinned it against the backboard.
Okay, yes, I do remember seeing that.
That's game 5.
Okay.
That was in the closing moments of game 5.
Yeah, like I said, I literally was so damn superstitious about it. I refused to see anything about it whatsoever until I had heard they won.
So I was on my way to Boston the night of game 5 to go wrestle in Boston. I watched the Penguins beat San Jose, sew up the cup, and then I turned on game 5. And then when game 5 was over, Christina and I hit the road. But that game 5 performance by LeBron is probably one of the best sports performances I've seen. Zolt's racking his noodle. I'm sure he's got a few.
Clint said game
Also,
6
the
was
way
his
that
favorite because
with
Steph's
his
meltdown.
nose,
No, sorry,
your nose is red. You look like you're
I was gonna say,
crying.
I'm actually. No, I'm not. I'm off on something. I'm off on a tangent right now because something came across my line of sight that
Uh-oh.
did not make any sense, and it's a completely different subject.
Is it orcs? Does it have to do with orcs?
No, it's back to football, which is why I'm trying not to.
Oh, orcs.
No, the Saints have re-signed Chase Young to a 3-year, $51 million contract. Before
What?
this
Why?
signing, they were minus $5 million to the cap.
What?
I'm literally
was
going
gonna
down the roster
say.
trying to figure out who they're gonna.
You know, they are the sneakiest sons of guns as far as
till Wednesday.
Yeah, how do they finagle that?
It's the voodoo. Don't ask.
I mean, unless
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to see this because
Yeah. Wow.
You don't
I
want
was
to
not
know how
trying
that
to
magic be
derail.
done down
I was
there?
being quiet.
Yeah, that's right? You definitely don't want to know
seen
how
it,
the
man.
magic's done down there.
I still remember walking down Bourbon Street, and there was a really cool voodoo shop we stepped inside, and back on one of the back walls of the shop was one of the main original city wells from New Orleans back when the city was founded. And they had built an altar around it. And one of the signs was, don't take pictures of the altar. The spirits don't like it, right? And there is some white girl with a cup of Dunkin' and her phone taking pictures. And that Creole black lady came from around a corner with like what looked like a chicken's foot on a baseball bat and go, don't be doing that there. You don't know what you're going to bring home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to respond to Clint, yes, that's what got them to -7.
Yeah.
That's already factored in. I don't know. It's the Saints, man. They will do something. What they're gonna do, I have no idea. They're gonna do something though.
That's insane.
East is my favorite. The last 3 years of doing this show, every year we get close to free agent time, and Zolt goes, I don't know how they're going to get under the cap. And then they
I don't know
do.
how they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. I look. I have no doubt they're gonna get there. I just don't know how.
Oh, okay. The 49ers released Kyle Juszczyk.
Oh, that
Juszczyk.
sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like him.
He's a local boy.
Yeah, that's okay. That one, that one surprises me a little.
Come on home to Cleveland, Kyle. Come play at the Brown and Orange.
Yeah, because
You can do
that
better,
dude is,
Kyle.
that is like, that is seriously, that is like, that is the ultimate safety valve. And wow,
Come be our new Joe Juravicious.
yeah,
I know we're getting towards the end of the show, and I know this because I'm saying we're getting towards the end of the show. I do want to briefly, very briefly, touch on the Lions because we haven't. I just want to say I happened to be on lunch when everything kind of went down. Literally listening to the radio station here, and Guy didn't even call in. He texted in saying that Brad Holmes is a coward and never spends money because he doesn't like spending money, and we never get big free agents. Not 5 minutes after that was read on the air is when the Lions signed cornerback DJ Reed, who, depending on where you were getting your info, was either the number 1 or number 2 cornerback on the list.
yep,
And not only that, the way they did it, they lost their previous number 1 corner, Carlton Davis, who got $12 million more in his deal. So not only did we get the top cornerback in free agency, we got him at a $12 million discount. Thank you very much. I don't expect them to do a whole lot else.
well, like
Give it a
Sam
week or
was saying,
two.
you
Yeah,
know,
you give it a week or two, and then you start picking at the guys who are still left. They haven't gotten the deal
right,
they want.
because everybody who does stuff this early on, it's desperation.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
And I will say this: we mentioned Zadarius Smith and his cup of coffee at Detroit.
Yep.
He obviously has not gotten a deal that he's happy with so far. Granted, it's day 1.
Right.
So,
but that doesn't mean that they won't figure. They could still figure something out and resign him.
And that's honestly, I'm sure Detroit released him telling him, "Hey, look, we want to bring you back. We just can't bring you back at what your current contract calls for. So go out there, look around. Somebody gives you the money. No hard feelings. Good luck. God
Yep.
bless. If you don't get what you're looking for, you know what? We've got a dollar amount here that we've kind of got you slotted at. We'll let your agent know."
Yep.
So, but right now, Detroit is thinking about how much we're going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson. So that's going to be a lot of money. If they do it quick, it's going to be like 42, 43 a year. Yeah.
Well,
if they
you can, as somebody put up, as somebody put up, thanks a lot, Cleveland, for effing up the market again.
No, it's going to happen. Every year, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah. Well, look at what Crosby. I mean,
I think
technically, Crosby started it.
Technically, Crosby screwed it up.
Max Crosby started it. And it's like, well, that's who you can blame. Wow.
Right. So that was my 2 minutes of Lions that I wanted to get in.
No,
yeah,
that's
it's going to be expensive. It's going to be so expensive.
Oh yeah. And like we said, it's only day 1. I mean, yeah, everybody was doing their plucking stuff over the last, 86 hours or whatever. But it's like, yeah, okay.
And I've always been real huge, especially when like Goff got an extension, St. Brown got his extension. You get it in early because the price only goes up.
Right.
Between between Hutchinson, Dallas, and Mika Parsons, there's a reason they're waiting. They're waiting to the new league year
Mhm.
because once you cross into the 2025 season, quote unquote, in a few days here, once you get past that, then all that bonus money or whatever that you're paying out doesn't start kicking in to the salary cap until 2026.
Right.
So you
Like
just
I
got to
said,
wait a
there's
little
gonna be
bit.
a lot of
Unfortunately,
patience.
that means the money went higher.
Right.
Yes.
But
And
like
I
we
do
were saying
want to see,
earlier, the good
but
teams are patient.
yeah,
The good teams are
there's a time
patient.
to be patient. There's a time to just get it done. I'm 100% sure the team and Hutch and his representatives have been in contact the entire time, and everybody knows exactly what's going on. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt in a couple of years. That's for damn sure. But I will say one last thing, which we can all agree on. We want Dallas fans to feel bad. So I just want to throw something out there real quick. I saw a little chart, and it was the last time a team signed a free agent to a contract greater than 10 million per year. Shouldn't be hard, right? Should
Yeah.
happen. Damn near every team said 23, 24, 25. There's a couple 2022s out there. The last time Jerry signed a free agent to money greater than 10 million a year, 2014.
That would have been
Over a decade ago.
That would have been Romo. Rookie?
I
Rookie
couldn't
Romo?
even remember. It has a free agent
I know
coming
that
from somewhere else. So I don't know. I could not tell you, but
it's got to be
enjoy
almost
that little factoid.
Rookie Romo. Wow. Yeah, that's
okay, Dallas. Keep doing it your way.
yeah. Build through that draft.
Anyway, George, say goodnight, Gracie. Bruiser, say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Crazy.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. That's it. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin. And if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Grayson.